She said it so casually, I almost missed it. We're doing a small thing at work Friday. Nothing big. Just staff. I was buttering toast, half listening, nodding like a husband does when his wife runs through another schedule of things that don't include him. Should I come? I asked, more out of politeness than desire. She didn't even hesitate. Nah, it's just a boring networking thing. You'd hate it. And just like that, I was uninvited from something I was never invited to. But here's the thing. Melissa always wanted me there before. Every holiday party, every open house, every promotion lunch, she wanted me on her arm. She used to say I grounded her, said I made her feel safe. So why did my presence suddenly become inconvenient? That question clung to the walls of my brain for days. Sticky, loud. Something wasn't right. And I wasn't crazy. I was attentive, the kind of man who remembered her coffee order down to the oat milk swirl, who noticed the way she changed shampoo before she told me. And lately, I'd been noticing too much. The new perfume, the longer hours, the nervous laugh when I touched her phone by accident. Then Friday came. She left the house around 5:40 p.m. wearing a black dress I hadn't seen before. Tight, confident, dangerous. It's just for work, she said, spinning like it was no big deal. Old dress. Been in the back of the closet. I smiled, but something in me folded. I waited until she'd been gone 30 minutes. Then I grabbed my keys and drove. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was curious. And curiosity, in love, is a symptom. The heart doesn't wonder unless it already suspects. The party was at her corporate headquarters downtown. Tall glass building, 23 floors, their logo glowing faintly in the night sky. I parked across the street. I told myself I wouldn't stay long. Just a glance. Just enough to prove myself wrong. But the universe has a sick sense of humor. There's something oddly intimate about watching the people you love when they don't know you're there. It feels like spying on a parallel version of them. Like opening a book you thought you knew and finding chapters you never read. She stepped out onto the rooftop terrace about an hour in. Laughing, hair swept back by the wind. Holding a wine glass in one hand and brushing his arm with the other. His arm. A man I didn't recognize. Tall, expensive looking. Confident in that way men get when they're used to being admired. I zoomed in with my phone, but I already knew. It wasn't the first time she touched him. It wasn't innocent. They stood too close. They leaned too much. Their smiles weren't professional. They were private jokes. Inside jokes. Jokes you build over time. And then she kissed him. She kissed him first. A hand on his chest, her lips on his. Quick, like a secret. The kind of kiss you give someone when you've been dying to touch them all night, and the risk is half the thrill. I filmed it. Every second. Every frame. I don't know why I started recording. Instinct maybe. Or maybe it was the final moment my denial gave up and rage quietly took its place. I didn't shout. I didn't drive up and cause a scene. I just sat there. My phone in my hand, my wife on the screen, kissing a man who wasn't me. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat at the kitchen table until the sun came up, phone in hand, replaying the video, watching it frame by frame, as if hoping it would change, hoping I'd imagined it. When Melissa came home at 1:14 a.m., her heels in one hand, her smile gone, I pretended to be asleep. She slipped into bed like a thief. Quiet, gentle, almost guilty, and I let her. The next morning, she kissed my forehead, told me she loved me, and made coffee like nothing happened. But I had already begun collecting evidence. Not just of the kiss, but of the lies. I checked our phone records. She'd been texting a number I didn't recognize late into the night almost every day for weeks. I reverse searched it. His name was Dylan. Married. 2 kids. VP of marketing at her firm. I found his wife's name on Facebook. A woman named Elise. Kindergarten teacher. I took screenshots. I backed up the video. I created a burner email. And then, like a surgeon prepping for an operation, I made 2 copies. One to Human Resources. And one to Elise. I didn't send them yet. But I had them. That's when I realized. The truth wasn't the most painful part. The worst part was how calm I felt. Like a man watching the final act of a play he didn't know he was in. A husband. An extra. An audience to the end of his own story. But I wasn't finished yet. Not even close. You'd be surprised how ordinary a day can look when your marriage is quietly dying. Melissa went on like nothing had happened. She folded laundry, asked me if I wanted salmon or chicken for dinner, kissed me goodbye before work. Her phone never left her side. Not once. Not even when she went to the bathroom. That was new. And me? I smiled. Played the part. I became the mirror she expected. But inside, I was dissecting every moment of the last 6 months. Every canceled dinner, every fake smile, every lie dressed up as routine. I wasn't after revenge. Not then. I just needed clarity. Truth is a strange drug. Once you taste it, lies feel suffocating. 3 days after the party, I took a sick day from work. While Melissa was out, I opened the closet and pulled down the lockbox she thought I didn't know about. Birth certificates, tax forms, and a burner phone. His number was saved as S. The texts were short but telling. Last night was electric. I still feel you. She has no idea, does she? I dream about you at my desk. I took photos of each screen, one by one. Then I returned the phone exactly where I found it. That night, Melissa asked me what movie I wanted to watch. I told her I was tired. She offered a back rub. I said maybe tomorrow. I was watching her, and she was performing. We were two strangers acting out a marriage we no longer believed in. I needed to see her one more time. With him. So Friday, I parked in the same spot across from her office building. This time, I didn't film. I watched. Eyes open. Heart sealed shut. He came out first. Dylan. The other man. He looked normal. Not the devil. Not a villain. Just a guy. Laughing into his phone, briefcase swinging. The air of a man who hadn't just dismantled a family. Then Melissa followed. She wore the same dress from the party, the one she said had been in the back of the closet. They didn't kiss this time. They just smiled, held hands for a second, then broke apart like nothing had happened. But that second was enough. Enough to make a choice. I drove home and sent the videos. The footage from the parking lot. The text screenshots. Everything. One email to Human Resources. Anonymous. Straightforward. Then I found Elise's email on a PDA flyer linked through her Facebook. I sent it to her too. No message. Just the files. Let them speak for themselves. And they did. The first domino fell Monday morning. Melissa was quieter than usual. Her phone buzzed during breakfast. Once, twice, 3 times. She didn't touch it. Just stared down into her coffee like she was waiting for it to spill. She left without a word. By noon, I knew the email had landed. Because Elise called me. Her voice was shaking, not with anger, but disbelief. Are you sure? I am, I said gently. I wish I wasn't. Then came the HR call. Melissa came home early that night. Pale. Her hands trembled when she tried to hang up her coat. Something's happened, she said. I didn't respond. Just watched her sink into the couch like her spine gave up. They got an email. With pictures. Of me and Dylan. Still, I said nothing. I don't know who sent it, she whispered. I did. I think someone's trying to ruin me, she said. And that's when I asked the question I'd been holding on to like a burning coin in my fist. Did you kiss him first? She looked up, startled. Her mouth opened, then closed. You were there, she asked. I was. Her face collapsed. I'm sorry, she whispered, voice cracking. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I nodded. I believe you. But it still happened. The silence that followed felt like a funeral. Then, her phone rang. She didn't answer, just stared at it. It buzzed again. And again. I leaned over and looked at the screen. Dylan. I picked it up, walked to the sink, and dropped it in the dishwater. She screamed. Said I was being cruel. Said I had no right. I looked her in the eyes and said the last sentence I would speak that night. You gave away the right when you kissed him. And then I went upstairs, closed the door, and locked it behind me. The morning after the phone sank, Melissa didn't speak to me. She moved around the kitchen like a ghost, quiet, deliberate, dripping shame with every step. Her makeup was half done, like she got halfway through pretending and gave up. She didn't pack lunch, didn't kiss me goodbye, just walked out the door without looking back. The silence in that house was louder than any argument we ever had. I don't know what she expected when she got to the office. Redemption, maybe. Sympathy. But HR doesn't deal in emotions. They deal in evidence. And evidence I had provided. When I came home that evening, her car wasn't in the driveway. Her shoes weren't by the door. The air was empty in a way it hadn't been in years. She left a note on the dining table. Just one line. I didn't think it would end this way. But that's the thing with betrayal. It always ends worse than the betrayer imagines. I didn't call her. I didn't ask where she went. Her absence didn't feel like abandonment. It felt like relief. Like a window finally opened after months of breathing someone else's stale air. 3 days later, Elise responded to my email. She thanked me, said it was the hardest thing she'd ever seen, but she was glad she knew. She told me she and Dylan were separating. She didn't ask for more details, didn't try to connect, just closure, clean and civil. Melissa, on the other hand, spiraled. She lost her position within a week. HR called it a violation of professional boundaries. Technically not fired, just asked to resign. Dylan? Demoted. Transferred. His name stripped from projects he once led. The fallout was quiet but permanent, like ash after a fire. One afternoon, she came back to the house to get her things. I'd already packed them, not out of anger, but because I knew the longer she lingered, the harder it would be for both of us. She stood in the doorway, eyes red, hair unbrushed. Not the woman I married. Not even the woman who betrayed me. Just someone broken. I don't know how to fix this, she whispered. You can't, I said. Some things don't go back. But it didn't mean anything, she pleaded. I looked at her then, really looked. And what I saw was not a villain. Not even a liar. Just a human being who made a selfish choice and couldn't undo it. That's the worst part, I said. You kissed him, and it didn't even mean anything. She broke down in the hallway, sobbing into her hands. I didn't go to her. Not out of cruelty, but because comforting her would have been dishonest. And I was done lying. She left with 2 suitcases and a cardboard box. No slamming doors. No shouting. Just quiet. Final. Like the end of a movie where no one claps. I stayed in the house for another month. Slept better. Ate slower. I watched the video once more, the one of her on the rooftop, lips pressed to another man's. This time, it didn't sting. It just clarified. It reminded me of a version of myself I never want to become again. The man who doubts his instincts, who overlooks the obvious, who gives more than he ever receives. Eventually, I deleted it. Not out of forgiveness, but because I didn't need it anymore. I already had the truth. And the truth, brutal, cold, unflinching, had set me free. People think betrayal is loud, that it screams and crashes and ruins everything in one explosive moment. But in real life, betrayal is quiet. A pause in conversation, a canceled invitation, a kiss in the dark, and sometimes, all you can do is watch.